You ever look at two people and just know one of them would literally take a truck for the other, even when the other acts like she couldn't care less? Yeah, that's Rumi and Jinu for you. And before you ask, yes, that wild mop of hair belongs to Rumi. Jinu's been head over heels since they were kids, always making her little wooden toys, folding her origami animals at midnight, baking cakes for her birthday, even though she'd just scrunch up her nose and mumble, "I don't like sweets," and picking wildflowers on the way to school like it was his actual job. Sweet, right? Maybe a little too sweet for Rumi, who played it cool like Ice Queen cool, always brushing off his gestures with a "who cares" or the classic "stop singing, you're so annoying" whenever he tried to serenade her under the autumn leaves. But that's the thing about Jinu, he just couldn't quit. No matter how much she rolled her eyes, he kept showing up, day in and day out, always finding ways to make her laugh. Or at least try to. And yeah, sometimes he went a little overboard, like the time he spotted that runaway truck barreling down the street and without thinking twice, dove in to shove Rumi out of harm's way. Did she say thank you? Nope. She dusted herself off, shot him a glare and said, "I can take care of myself. Don't interfere. You know what I mean? Some people just don't give you an inch." Till Jinu was undeterred. He stuck around, sometimes just in the background, always hoping she'd come around. But life has a funny way of throwing curveballs at you when you least expect it. Like that day at the supermarket when Rumi was browsing the snack aisle and two masked guys stormed in, yelling at everyone to get down. Rumi tried to sneak her phone out, dialing for help, but one of the guys caught her. Before she could even panic, there's Jinu, except suddenly he looks different. Not the gentle kid she grew up with, but this hulking, heroic version of himself. He just grabs both robbers, one in each hand like they weighed nothing, and hands them over to the cops when they come rushing in. You'd think that would finally crack her ice, right? I mean, Jinu's got a busted arm, wrapped in bandages, sitting there hopeful that maybe Rumi would say something nice, or at least something. But nope. She just walks off, not even glancing back. That's when it hits him. Maybe he's been trying too hard. Maybe it's time to stop. So he disappears. No more waiting by the gates, no more surprise lunches, no more singing under her window at dusk. At first, Rumi barely notices. Her routine rolls on, cold as ever. But little by little, the world feels emptier. The bench at the bus stop seems lonelier. Her favorite spot in the park is just a patch of grass now. And all those little memories of Jinu, him laughing at her dumb jokes, patching up her scraped knees, baking those lopsided cakes, start playing on repeat. Why was I so cold to him, she wonders. But it's too late. Or so she thinks. That's when the real chaos hits. Out of nowhere, the Demon King Gimma shows up, because yeah, sometimes life just goes full-on fantasy on you, and kidnaps Jinu right in front of her eyes. You could almost hear the record scratch. For the first time, Rumi feels something snap inside. "Jinu!" she yells, heart pounding, but Gimma's already dragging him off through some swirling portal, laughing that classic villain laugh. Let me back up a sec. Rumi's never been a hero. But she knows what she has to do. She seeks out this old witch who's lived at the edge of town for decades. Think the type who feeds stray cats and knows a little too much about everyone's business. The witch hands her a magical wand, says, "This will get you where you need to go." That's all Rumi needs. She steps through the portal and boom, she's in this twisted, dark forest, the kind that looks like it grew straight out of a nightmare. And of course, there's a monster waiting for her, drooling and snarling, probably one of Gimma's goons. But Rumi doesn't back down. Maybe it's the wand, maybe it's the adrenaline, or maybe, just maybe, it's the realization that she can't let Jinu go. She fights like hell, wins with a wild swing of her wand and, honestly, a little bit of luck. The path isn't straight. She's got to track Jinu down by scent like she's part bloodhound, and every turn just feels more dangerous. But she's laser-focused now, no more cold shoulder, just pure determination. She slips into Gimma's castle, creeping along stone corridors, her breath barely making a sound. But just as she's about to reach Jinu, a trap snaps shut around her, and suddenly she's surrounded by 100 shadowy guards. It's a total disaster. She thinks fast, grabs an invisibility cloak off a passing mannequin. Yeah, magic's weird like that and slips right through their grasp, muttering, "Want to catch me? Dream on." Finally, she finds Jinu locked up in a magical cage, looking more shocked than anyone. "Rumi, why are you here?" he asks, his voice almost breaking. She just says, "I'm getting you out. And no more running." Before she can bust him loose, Gimma storms in, all evil energy and dramatic flair, ready for a showdown. The fight is brutal. Rumi takes hit after hit, crashes to the ground, and for a second it looks like she's going to lose. But then she hears Jinu shouting, "You can do it, Rumi," and something inside her clicks. She spots a glowing gem on Gimma's belt, classic villain weak spot, right? And with one desperate move, she snatches it, crushing it in her fist. Gimma howls, dissolving into a cloud of mist, vowing revenge because, bad guys never really go away. Rumi rushes to Jinu, unlocks the cage, and they stumble out together, battered but alive. And right there, in the chaos, she finally says it. "I'm sorry. I was wrong. I didn't realize how much you meant to me." You can see Jinu's face soften, like he's waited his whole life to hear those words. They make their way back through the portal, step into the sunlight of their old neighborhood like nothing ever happened, except everything's changed. This time, Rumi's the one reaching for Jinu's hand, offering to bake with him, planting flowers side by side in the garden he built for her. They laugh more, sing together, mess up the kitchen with flour and sugar, like real, messy, everyday happiness. And yeah, Jinu proposes right there among the flowers, and Rumi actually says yes. Their little bakery opens on the corner, and the neighborhood turns out for their wedding because who doesn't love a happy ending? A few months later, the sign on the bakery says, "Closed for family time," Rumi's expecting. They build a house, start a family, and if you peek through the windows, you'll see them living that kind of happiness you usually only see in movies. But here's the thing, just when you think it's all sunshine and roses, someone in the comments always asks, "Do you think Gimma's really gone? Or was Rumi too cold? Or was Jinu too persistent?" Yeah, that happened. So what do you think? Does real love mean never giving up even when you get nothing back? Or should we all learn when to walk away? Drop your take down below. I want to hear what you think about justice, forgiveness, and second chances. Maybe, just maybe, there's a bit of Rumi and Jinu in all of us.